Let's start the news this morning and get right to it. The toll of the coronavirus here in the U.S. has hit some new milestones. More than 1.5 million cases, more than 90,000 deaths in this country.
Meantime, the process of reopening the economy is now underway in 48 states. And today, the governor of Massachusetts will detail plans for that state's reopening. Savannah.
Also, we know one thing that will not be opening soon, New York City beaches. The mayor announcing those beaches will remain closed for next weekend's Memorial Day holiday.
Meantime, the World Health Organization is kicking off its annual two-day summit being held online for the first time ever. It is expected to focus almost entirely on the coronavirus pandemic. We do have complete coverage of all of this. We're going to start off with NBC's Sam Brock and the nation's reopening. Hey, Sam, good morning.
Hoda, Savannah, good morning. We are seeing a slow and steady phase in for most states, including right here in Florida. Hard hit Miami Beach, just now getting businesses and restaurants reopened in the next week and a half or so. On Ocean Drive, you're going to see restaurants actually spilling out into the middle of the street with their dining, which is why you have these orange barricades up and down the street. At the same time, many top health officials right now warning against the risks of reopening too much, too quickly.
Almost all 50 states are now partially reopened, from restaurants and retail to churches and casinos. The only remaining holdouts, Massachusetts' stay-at-home order expires today, while Connecticut's order lasts through Wednesday. On Sunday, the nation's health secretary signaling early signs are promising.
In areas that are opening, we're not seeing this spike in cases. We still see spikes in some areas that are in fact closed, very localized situations.
While Colorado and Georgia have not seen dramatic jumps, Texas just recorded its single highest spike of coronavirus cases on Saturday, more than 2,700. This as gyms and offices in the Lone Star State come back today. New York's Governor Andrew Cuomo getting tested for COVID-19 on live TV.
That's it?
While continuing to plead with people to be safe. The warm weekend weather luring New Yorkers outdoors, crowds outside restaurants and bars.
Thank you.
Parks and beaches packed.
Our plans are to be outside as much as possible.
Coast to coast, visitors flocking to beaches. In New Jersey, a test run before Memorial Day.
Definitely not seeing a lot of masks around.
South Carolinians sandwiched on this stretch near Myrtle Beach. And the first weekend beaches reopened in LA County, not stopping waves of people from crowding the water. Farther north in the Bay Area, a bewildering scene in San Francisco Friday. Residents of the always social Marina neighborhood practicing virtually no social distancing outside this wine bar.
The fact that people weren't wearing masks and they were so, cluttered together, I'm like, oh God, no, it was very upsetting.
Also upsetting, a warning from Butte County a few hours away in Northern California. After a churchgoer recently tested positive for coronavirus, exposing 180 people and renewing warnings on large social gatherings. In Florida, as Miami Beach's restaurant scene economic fuel for South Florida eyes a reopen, the governor is considering easing the ban on vacation rentals, but not for everyone.
If you tell me you're going to rent them out to people from New York City, I'm probably not going to approve that, okay?
Of course, the biggest attraction in Miami Beach and in South Florida in general, the beaches. No indication, guys, this morning as to when those may be coming back online. But in nearby Palm Beach County, those beaches reopen today. Savannah, back to you.
All right, Sam, thank you very much. Also this morning, the nation's getting a new vote of confidence when it comes to the economy's ability to bounce back from the pandemic over the long term. This as a very public feud is playing out over the federal response. NBC's White House correspondent Kristen Welker joins us with that story this morning. Hey, Kristen, good morning.
Hey, Savannah, good Monday morning to you. President Trump is starting this week again defending his administration's response to the coronavirus crisis, with his predecessor, as you say, now openly criticizing the handling of the pandemic. And with the economy still in free fall, the chairman of the Federal Reserve is warning the nation's unemployment rate could soar to some of the worst numbers in almost a century. But Jerome Powell also saying he thinks ultimately the country will recover. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell showing some optimism on CBS's 60 Minutes Sunday when asked about a grim number, the unemployment rate possibly hitting 25%.
25% is the estimated height of unemployment during the Great Depression. Do you think history will look back on this time and call this the second Great Depression?
No, I don't. I don't think that's a likely outcome at all. We had a very healthy economy 2 months ago. Our financial system is strong.
Powell saying that strength should pave the way for a significant rebound, but not right away.
I would say, though, we're not going to get back to where we were quickly. We won't get back to where we were by the end of the year. That's unlikely to happen.
Those comments come amid a bitter back and forth between President Trump and his predecessor, with the president taking direct aim at former President Barack Obama as Mr. Trump returned from Camp David Sunday.
Look, he was an incompetent president. That's all I can say. Grossly incompetent. Thank you.
The president was responding after Mr. Obama used a virtual commencement address to criticize the Trump administration's response to the coronavirus crisis, although not mentioning Mr. Trump by name.
More than anything, this pandemic has finally torn back the curtain on the idea that so many of the folks in charge know what they're doing. A lot of them aren't even pretending to be in charge.
Obama's comments mark his most direct rebuke of President Trump's handling of the pandemic.
You know, all those adults that you used to think were in charge and knew what they were doing, turns out they don't have all the answers. A lot of them aren't even asking the right questions.
And the sharp words coming just 1 week after Mr. Obama privately criticized his successor's handling of the pandemic, deeming it a, quote, absolute chaotic disaster during a phone call with former staffers from his administration. Some important context to all of this, Savannah. Former President Obama's criticism does come, of course, after he formally endorsed Joe Biden, a sign of things to come as the presidential race starts to ramp up against the backdrop of all of this, Savannah.
Kristen, before I let you go, another item in the news this morning, the president firing the State Department's inspector general. Tell us more about that.
Well, that's right. And this morning, Democrats saying they are planning to investigate that firing of Steve Linick after Secretary of State Mike Pompeo recommended that the president dismiss him. According to a Democratic aide, Linick was looking into allegations that Pompeo improperly used a political appointee to perform personal tasks for him and his wife, including claims he was asked to walk their dog, pick up dry cleaning, even make dinner reservations. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi weighing in over the weekend. She said while the president does have the right to fire any federal employee, if it's done in retaliation, it could be unlawful. This is the fourth inspector general the president has fired in under 2 months, Savannah.
All right, Kristen Welker at the White House. Thank you, Kristen. 10 minutes after the hour. Hoda, to you.
All right, Savannah, thank you. Breaking this morning, the governing body of the World Health Organization meeting for the first time since the pandemic began. And China is facing a lot of questions about just how it started. Today, senior international correspondent Keir Simmons joins us now with details here. Hey, Keir, good morning.
Hey, Hoda, good morning. This is a stunning moment of symbolism. China's President Xi speaking to the annual assembly of the World Health Organization, the Chinese making the surprise announcement that he would speak in the early hours of this morning. President Xi, in his speech, insisting that China has been open and transparent over the coronavirus. President Trump not scheduled to speak at the event and has threatened to withdraw funding from the World Health Organization. A World Health Organization official telling NBC News world leaders have been invited to join by video and many are taking part, but not all were available and accepted. Meanwhile, 116 countries backing a resolution for an independent international investigation into the coronavirus. Australia insisting that inquiry should focus on China. Many world leaders calling for unity this morning, but this event looks set to demonstrate the deep global divisions that still are there. Savannah?
All right, Keir Simmons, thank you. And now to the other big story we're following this morning has to do with the weather. Arthur, the first tropical storm of the season, is brushing the North Carolina coast with heavy rain, high winds. Al's here. He's got the latest. You've had your eye on this one for a while. Al, good morning.
Good morning, Savannah. That's right. We were talking about this late last week, and now let's take a look. This is the latest on Arthur, a tropical storm, 135 miles south-southwest of Cape Hatteras, North Carolina, 45-mile-per-hour winds. It's moving north-northeast at 14 miles per hour. Will most likely skirt the coast and the Outer Banks. Tropical storm warnings are up for this system. By late this afternoon, it moves just past, but you can still see Cape Hatteras within that cone of uncertainty. uncertainty. And then by Wednesday, it's out there as a fish storm. But it is going to have impacts up and down the East Coast from Jensen Beach all the way to Ocean City. Rough surf, rip currents will continue right on into the midweek. And guys, this is also going to have an impact on the weather for the eastern half of the country as it's going to slow up another system that's going to cause big rain. We'll tell you about that coming up in the next half hour. Guys?
All right, Al, thank you. We do have a lot more to get to, including something that sports fans have waited for months. We're talking about the return of live events. Yesterday, we saw the first televised golf and NASCAR's first race since the coronavirus put those seasons on hold. NBC's Morgan Chesky joins us from the Darlington Raceway in South Carolina with a little bit of good news. Hey, Morgan, morning.
Hoda, so much good news here, and drivers thrilled to be back on the track here in Darlington, but it did come with some significant changes. There are typically 47,000 fans packing the grandstands here. Sunday, there was none of that, but no one's letting that overshadow the bigger picture here. Sports, and not just NASCAR, are making a comeback.
This morning, the race is on to bring back sports. NASCAR setting the pace, pulling off its post-COVID return Sunday in South Carolina.
You know, I didn't think it was going to be that much different, and then we won the race, and it's dead silent out here, so we missed the fans.
No fans in the stands, but on TV, millions watch drivers mask up. Their pit crews slightly smaller. The first race back different, but welcomed.
Is it tough to be so close and yet not be able to go in?
Not really. I think they're doing the right thing by not allowing us to go in.
Raul Nunez, one of the few fans who decided to drive down anyway. The tradition? He sets up the camper while Dad mans the grill.
If we can't see it inside, we'll watch it on TV and we'll hear it and smell it. So that's why we're here.
Pro golf back as well. In Florida, a charity match for healthcare workers brought out the sport's biggest names. With America's team sports on hold, all eyes now go to Germany. Their Bundesliga soccer league back on the pitch. Players told no handshakes or even group celebrations. And those same rules could soon show up here. NBC News confirming a draft proposal from Major League Baseball. The league suggesting testing all players, coaches, and umpires. Social distancing even in the dugout. And sunflower seeds or tobacco gone, with spitting strictly prohibited. The NFL not far behind, reopening practice facilities tomorrow, as long as state and local governments allow it. Back in South Carolina, the drivers going full throttle. A welcome sign for the rest of the sports world and the country.
We'll get through this. We'll get through it. Come on. We'll get back there.
NASCAR fans have a non-stop racing week ahead. Drivers will be back here in Darlington tomorrow and Wednesday before heading down to Charlotte Motor Speedway for 4 more races next week. Their full season officially back on track. Savannah, Hoda.
All right, Morgan, baby steps. We're getting there. All right, thank you. Hi, Savannah, 7:15.
Yeah, that's going to be music. Music to the ears of a lot of people, for sure. Sports fans will be happy. You know what else was good news, Hoda? I know you've been following this real closely. Dr. Fair, a member of our NBC News family, he's out of the hospital now and recovering from COVID-19 at home. He's still on oxygen, but he says he's resting up. There he is with his 2 sweeties, dogs on both sides of him, and he's very relieved to be back in his bed. He says he still believes he contracted the virus through his eyes when he was on that crowded flight from New York back home to New Orleans, but he just wanted to thank everybody for their prayers and their support.
Yeah, he said he dropped 18 pounds, but he's feeling good, so we're happy that he's going to be back in business pretty soon. All right, Mr. Roker, how about a check of the forecast?
Hey, guys, well, we hinted at it a couple of minutes ago. We got a big storm complex that's going to be making its way to the east, and that's going to cause problems. Rest of the country out west, from the plains all the way to Texas and back into the southwest, plenty of sunshine, and then another series of storms come into the west coast, Northern California, into the Pacific Northwest.